Hello, I'm Sam Kerr. I'm a principal product manager here at GitLab, and today I want to talk a little bit more about technical details around security integrations with GitLab. In the last video, we talked about a few of the different touch points and parts of the user workflow that might make sense for you as an integrator to add your product into GitLab. And with this video, I want us to focus on how this is actually done. So what we're going to do is walk through some of the documentation in the product, look at an example project, and I'll show some helpful steps that might help you get up to speed more quickly. So I'll share my screen. So the page that we're looking at right now, this is the documentation for GitLab Security Scanner integration. I'll add a link in the description of the video below, but at a high level, this page is describing everything you'll need to know to integrate your scanner into GitLab. The way this is done is by providing a CI job definition file as part of your product integration that end users would then include in their own pipelines. This file could have all of the various pieces of business logic that's needed to specifically run your scanner or any sort of configuration in it. I won't read this entire page to you. Please read it at your own leisure. One thing I do want to highlight, though, because I think it makes it really easy to see how this is done, is this example here. So what this section is talking about, the artifact section, this is showing what GitLab is expecting your product to output, specifically one of these report artifacts. Depending on the type of integration, type of product you are, you might use a SAST integration, a DAST integration, container scanning, or what have you. But what this is doing is it's telling GitLab, as part of running the job, in this case, MySec SAST, that the product will be outputting all of its results into a file, and in this example called glsastreport.json. What GitLab does at that point is it then takes this file, reads all of the information inside of it, and it displays that information in various places, much like we talked about in the previous video with the security dashboard, pipeline views, as well as merge request widgets. Notably, the format for this file is also publicly documented. There's links in this page, and those links will take you to this repository here. This has all of the JSON schemas that GitLab currently supports and what their latest status is. If we look at one of them, let's look at the SAST one, you'll see this is a JSON schema document, and it has all of the supported fields that GitLab has available for security results, as well as a short description, short documentation string for each and every field to help you understand what all of these different places to put information is for. So I'll add a link to this repository as well in the video description, but let's take a look at an example that might help make this a little bit more real. So we'll go back to the custom scanner project that I talked about last time, and let's dig into figuring out how this actually is being done. So what this project is showing is a custom security scanner that I've written called SamScan, and we're going to integrate the SamScan results into GitLab and into all the various parts of the GitLab workflow. And so the way that we're doing this, let's take a look at the code inside of samscan.py, which is the scanner. In your case, this would be the product itself that you're trying to integrate. And so SamScan is pretty basic. So if we scroll to the bottom, all it's doing, it's printing this large JSON object out to the console, and that's it. This report object that I'm sharing right here, this is a JSON object that meets the schema requirements that I showed earlier. And this is where in your own product, you would be taking a user source code, scanning it, running your own security checks to generate this output yourself. But in the case of SamScan, I've just pre-hard coded it, and we're just printing it to the command line. And so that is the very basic SamScan. So let's actually take a look at how we integrate the results of SamScan into GitLab. So if we look at our GitLab CI YAML file, this is what defines the pipeline, defines all the jobs that users are going to be running. And we can look at what the various stages are being run as part of this. So we're running a test stage, a scanning stage, and a validation stage. Our test stage is actually where we're also running SAST in this pipeline. I did want to highlight that just because you're adding your own custom scanner doesn't mean that customers cannot run other scanners with their pipeline. This is really important because if your scanner is a SaaS tool, then your users probably still want to be using DAST, and that's totally possible. If we look at what the scanning stage is, this is where we're actually running SAMScan as part of that pipeline. We can see that we're executing the Python script, saving those results to a file called samscan report.json. And then in the second half of the job that I'm highlighting now, you can see that we're adding the samscan report.json file, and we're specifying it as a DAST report artifact. And what this means is that anywhere that DAST results would normally be shown by GitLab, those results will be taken from that samscan file that we're outputting as part of this job. And that's all there is to it. That is the integration of SAMScan into GitLab. If we go and look at the security dashboard for this project, we'll see that all of those vulnerabilities which we looked at earlier are on the security dashboard because GitLab has picked them up out of that JSON document and is displaying them here. One thing I do want to highlight that I think will be very helpful for you as part of developing your own integrations is implementing schema validation against the report artifacts that your job is producing. This is a quick way to help debug if you do start seeing issues with the integration or things aren't being displayed correctly. There is a short snippet of code, which I'm highlighting now. I wrote a short script. You're more than welcome to copy it. And all it's doing is it's taking those schema documents that we looked at earlier, downloading them into the repo, and running a schema validator against the output report and those schema documents. If the report object that your security product is outputting does not meet the schema, the validate report script here will throw an error. It'll tell you why it is not meeting those requirements. And then you can take the next step in terms of fixing that to make sure that your output is compliant with the report schemas that GitLab is expecting to see. And so I hope this was helpful. This was a whirlwind overview of how to integrate your custom security scanner into GitLab and take advantage of all the different touch points that we have with our users as part of our workflow. Again, my name's Sam Kerr. I'm at stkerr at GitLab. If you'd like to talk further, always happy to discuss things on an issue, and have a great day.